The African region have a burden of 90% of preventable diseases and 91% deadly diseases worldwide. Nigeria, as the most populous African country, accounts for 24% of malaria death globally. The Ogun State Governor, His Excellency Senator Ibikunle Amosun CONFCA, stated that in Nigeria today, malaria is responsible for approximately 60% outpatients and 30% of hospital admissions, thus contributing 11% of maternal mortality, 25% of infant mortality, and 30% of age 5 mortality. He stated further that over 110 million cases were clinically diagnosed annually, noting that malaria happened to be the cause of death for about 300,000 persons yearly in Nigeria, and mostly children under 5 and pregnant women are affected by the scourge. In their effort to eliminate malaria, the Ogun State government, with support from Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria JFATM, through the Catholic Relief Services CSR, distributed 3,363,654 free bed nets through the use of cash and asset transfer strategy, using the Android devices in the deployment of Ogun State long-lasting insecticidal nets.
As part of this campaign in Ogun State, we're introducing the use of technology in a very, very significant way to make sure that the bed nets ultimately get to the intended recipients. We're using technology to bring a level of accountability, efficiency, and ultimately efficacy to the program.
We have Android devices, and that is what we will use to collate the data from the houses as well as the data for the distribution.
In the past decade, we've experienced some challenges. So what the technology is here to do is to help us overcome some of those challenges, because we want to make sure that the nets get to the beneficiaries. So that's why we've introduced technology.
This time around, the card that are going to use, the net that are going to use, have some barcodes on it. So when you are giving a card, at the point where you are going to redeem your card, the smartphone that are going to be deployed to the field will be used to capture your smartphone to be sure that you are actually registered during the house-to-house mobilization that's going to be done.
The campaign was a huge success with 87.5% redemption rate across the state.
The other critical thing that we've seen is the involvement of the state. The Honorable Commissioner for Health has been right at the forefront. The Director for Public Health has been very well involved. The State Malaria Elimination Program Manager has been very well involved. Actually, the campaign is meant to be led by the state, while we support from behind. And the state has continued to show that leadership from the front, and that has made it easy.
Since 2003, Catholic Relief Services CSR and the Global Fund are partnered to fight malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV in 27 countries worldwide, with their global headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland, United States of America. The campaign was to see to the distribution of 3.1 million nets to all residents of the 20 local governments that made up Ogun State. This was based on population figures received from micro-planning undertaken by the Catholic Relief Services.
So this is called Early Line Mass Campaign. In other words, a campaign to deliver mosquito bed nets to households in Ogun State. And the target is to ensure that every household in Ogun State gets these bed nets. And ideally, we want one net for 2 persons. So this is ultimately what we want to achieve. Beyond this, we also want to ensure that people don't just collect the nets and keep under their pillows. We want to ensure that people collect these nets, hang these nets and sleep inside the nets every night, because this is one sure way to protect yourself and your family from mosquito bites, which is actually a way of preventing malaria from the household.
Operationally, long-lasting insecticidal nets were allocated to households at one net for every 2 people, or one net to a single adult in a household, with a maximum of 4 nets per household. The campaign involves sequence of activities, namely engagement with the state, micro-planning, budget and timeline development, trainings, household mobilization, long-lasting insecticidal net distribution, and rapid assessment. In terms of the overview of the campaign process, the strategy targeted all population at risk, at least 97% of the total population. It also focused on development of a common set of methodologies and tools for the long-lasting insecticidal nets replacement campaign. Also, the objective of the distribution was to ensure that for every 2 persons in Ogun State, there is 1 bed net to sleep inside. The distribution was done in 1,255 distribution points across all the 20 local government areas of the state from 1st to 5th of May 2018. Post-SBCC campaign to increase net utilization in the state as one of the key activities of the campaign. It is, however, noteworthy that the distribution was led by the Ogun State Ministry of Health through the State Malaria Elimination Program with technical assistance from Catholic Relief Services. The engagement meeting was held in February, after which a micro-planning was done, where the macro plans were translated into operational budget, while working with the local government and the various wards to arrive at an operational plan. The budget and a timeline were developed at the level of micro-planning. Talking in terms of training, there were trainings for different personnel at different locations in the state. Some of the training took place at Ijebu-Ode and some were held in Abeokuta, the state capital. The training started from the state level down to the local government levels and later to the wards. There was a 4-day training of trainers which were held at the state level, where the local government teams came to the state together with a state team, after which they went to cascade the training to their ward supervisors.
We had training of the state personnel as well as the LGA teams so that they are aware and they are ready to implement this exercise. We've had other trainings for the conveyors so that they will be the ones moving the nets. The whole objective for this exercise is to ensure the people of Ogun State have an alliance to use to sleep inside every night so that we can have a malaria-free Ogun State.
The things that we look out for are personnel who are trainable, personnel who are sharp, enthusiastic, and keen. And I must confess that so far in Ogun State, we've been very excited. We've seen young, sharp, trainable personnel, and that has made it easier.
To allow the project sink at the grassroots, there were also trainings at the ward level for the implementers, that is, the house mobilizers and the distribution team.
They get this information because most of them might not have batteries put in their radio, they might not have light or TV sets to watch it on the TV. The only information they get is from their town announcers. So if we do not monitor them, it becomes an issue for us. Town announcement is very important and it has shown that it's the most effective means of communication that the beneficiaries get during the campaign. You see, they will now be more focused because they will be expecting that you can come in at any point in time. So that's why every LGA, before mobilization starts, you must have your monitoring.
Every ward should be accommodated and trained within a 1 day, within a 2 days period for household mobilization activity. However, the population was beyond the expectation. So what this means is And the number of people he's training on that day is how many? 68. Now, he will go there that day and train how many people? 68 people.
We don't have to go through that process again. Now, some people said their phone crashed. So what I want us to do is type in go back to the initial platform where you have the net stop. Go back. Please go back on your phones.
The independent monitors were also trained. A total of 18,130 personnel were engaged for the campaign. The list consists of the state team, under which we had state supervisors, local government coordinators, local government conveyors, independent monitors, state warehouse managers, state warehouse assistants, master trainers, LCCN members, media reporting journalists, local government area teams, local government storekeepers, local government store security, ward supervisors, town announcers, household mobilizers, DP conveyors, distribution point supervisors, distributors, DP crowd controllers, DP health educator, DP security, and waste manager. Talking about advocacy visits, there were advocacy visits to 9 ministries and all the stakeholders for their buy-in and support for the process. Notably among them is the advocacy visit to the royal father, the Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo.
I've decided to accept our offer. Thank you very much, LAC. So today, we have come on behalf of His Excellency Senator Ogun Apostles to say big thank you to you for remaining a good father that you have always been. We have also come to say the people of Ogun State must hear you talk to them. Because when we select an ambassador, the ambassador must talk to the people.
Members of the Ogun State team to send malaria fever out of the state. The Obawa has just come in.
Kabisa.
Onijai, Jaisu. The chiefs who are already here before. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel highly honored to have been asked to be the mosquito net ambassador to Ogun State to ensure that our people are able to attend to work 365 days a year without breaking down for one malaria attack or the other.
There was also a visit to His Royal Highness Oba Olalere Adetono, the Obaladi of Afonland.
A kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, ẹ̀yin elétò ìlera, bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ikọ̀ láti Abuja, títí wá dé ti state àti ti local wípé ẹ kú iṣẹ́, ẹ kú fi ọmọ ṣe, iṣẹ́ tí ẹ ń ṣe náà ní ṣubú ń bẹ̀, ọ̀pọ̀ ọba àdọ́ọba kò ní ṣá yín lẹ́sẹ̀, ẹ máa mọ̀ ọ́ ṣe ó, Olúwa tún lè ń ṣe, àtúnà tí náà ṣe, á dáàbò ẹ̀bùn yìí, àwa náà tẹ̀sí wá báyìí, à ń kí pé ẹ ṣe é pọ̀.
Sensitization meetings were also held with traditional, community, and religious leaders to encourage their support and participation. Others that were visited included the State Commissioner of Police and the State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Also visited were the general managers of OGBC, OGTV, Paramount FM, and Rock City FM, among others. Going by the aphorism that working without the media is like winking in the dark, a media orientation program was held to give the members of the media sufficient insight into the core objectives of the campaign. The media support was solicited to help disseminate proper information on the house-to-house mobilization and distribution of the long-lasting insecticidal nets to the people of Ogun State.
They should know that even if I don't have a net free, I can always get one to buy and protect my children and my family. So these are information that they need to get. Adequate media publicity, please. That is why we need you. Subsidized media placement for NLI promotions. There are provisions for NLI promotions, but we want them subsidized so that we get more information out at, will I say cheaper price.
We want the support of everyone, the media, to ensure that people know about the nets, they get the nets, and they use the nets.
One of the questions that you may likely be asked is this: it feels hot when I sleep inside the net. What do I do? Your response should be like this: please keep your windows open for fresh air to reduce the heat. Use within the local context. And what do I mean by that? In this slogan for this campaign is one net card, one net. No net card, no net.
Engage some of the media practitioners across some of the selected media stations. What we do with them is that we give them drafted messages which they would use in further sensitizing the public. They also go out on their own to the field to cover some of the human angle stories during this process, and then on return we review what they have, the reports they have gathered before disseminating to the public.
Here the net and the airline under the shade, not on the sun, for 24 hours. Everybody knows that. We've been talking about that for years now, that we should hear our net under the shade before we use it.
The media has an absolutely critical role in this because despite the best technology to make sure that the activities are taking place as intended, it ultimately comes down to the human element, and the media is a conduit to communicate appropriate messaging out to the public that we're trying to reach.
These commodities from one point to another, again, ensure that we have some level of accountability using this approach. How do we mean? We mean that using this approach, every movement is clearly documented. Okay, it's visible, we can trace, we can track at all levels to have detailed information of what is going on per time.
Notable media practitioners were engaged across different media stations to help in sensitizing the public. Also, some of the media practitioners went to the field to cover some human angle stories. The campaign jingles across different media stations in the state also helped in oiling the campaign significantly. There were also live television and radio appearances to further sensitize the populace. Before the distribution, there were registration of households from the 14th to 22nd of April 2018.
We also carry out what we call household mobilization, so which is registering households to ensure that they get what we call net cards. With these net cards, they can come out and redeem their nets at the appropriate time during distribution.
The house-to-house mobilization was the rapid registration and issuance of net cards to beneficiaries. This was done by a group house mobilizers going from house to house. The net card entitles the bearer to one free net.
Now, rather than carrying too many papers about, we just have these phone devices where households are entered on the device, and automatically it's registered. So that at the end of the exercise, you can quickly have a look at the dashboard, and it tells you the number of households that have been mobilized.
There was the micro and macro positioning of nets. The micro position was done after mobilization was completed.
My name is Ezine Onuba. I'm the Logistics Workstream Advisor for Catholic Relief Services. Right now, we're at the Ogun State Central Medical Store trying to sort out campaign materials that will be going to all the 20 LGAs. All around me are the 20 LGA coordinators. So for the Logistics Workstream, this is one of our key activities. And we're hoping that every other thing will roll out swiftly, especially when we move to our next phase, which is the transportation of our nets from the state stores to our LGA stores. So we're looking up to a good campaign generally. Thank you very much.
The macro was the movement of the nets from the two warehouses in the state, which was Ijebu-Ode and Ota.
Moving from here, from the local government store, and then we have covered quite a number of, we have taken the products to quite a number of the LGA store. As of now, we have taken the required amount of nets to Imeko Afon local government, Ikpokia local government, Ewekoro local government, Odeda local government, Yewasa local government, and then Yewa North local government. The outstanding local governments are Abeokuta North, Abeokuta South, E4, and because of the closeness of Ado-Ota local government store to the state store, we have their stock in the state stock here, so they can always have access to it, and it simply means that they can be moved from here to the distribution points.
The nets were later moved from those two hubs to the remaining 18 local governments in the state. They were moved from the storage point at the local government or wards to the distribution point.
What is a killer? What is a killer to you? Is it crime or is it drugs or is it warfare? I've been a trailer, I've been a viper, I've been a tiger, all of them not killer, but oh malaria, aye, it is a number one killer, me say. Killing our children, killing our mothers and unborn too. Oh malaria, has it taken a loved one from you? Yeah, now that you know, tell me what you undo. Testing and treatment, the best option for you. Because I say, prevention is better than cure. So make sure.
There was a total of 1,248 distribution points across the state.
ANC doing pregnancy for mother and unborn child. It is a possibility to be malaria free in Nigeria. Malaria free, you and me, malaria free, family, malaria free.
Talking about the flag-off ceremony of the event, there was the investiture of the net ambassador, the Alake of Egbaland, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo. The ceremony had several dignitaries from all walks of life. Notably among them were the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, the country representative of Catholic Relief Services, Mrs. Rebecca Hallam, the Commissioner for Health, Ogun State, Dr. Babatunde Ikpaye, and many others. The high point of the flag-off ceremony was the investiture of Alake of Egbaland as the net ambassador for the state and the symbolic handover of the campaign nets to the Ogun State government through Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, by the Vice President of CRS, Mr. Carl Lowe. After this, the net distribution was done from the 1st of May to the 5th of May with a 2-day mop-up, which now ended on the 7th of May 2020. 2018.
Oh, yeah. Malaria free, you and me, malaria free, family, malaria free society, malaria free community, malaria free, you and me, malaria free, family, malaria free society, malaria free community.
Oh malaria, threatening in the tropical areas. Come together, let's fight malaria. Play your part and do it for Africa. What is a killer? Lights living is bitter. The tolls raising in figures. The fire burning no fingers. Taking heavenly souls on flights unknown. Get it under control. Stand up, let's be bold. Oh yeah, stand up. We got to let them know that the time has come.
Wọ́n wá pè wá pé ká bọ́ta pé ká wá forúkọ sílẹ̀. Adẹ̀jáde àforúkọ sílẹ̀. Wọ́n wá ní tó bá dọ̀ǹdì wá nù. Ká wá gbà níbí báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó fún wa ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì yìí o. Àwọn CRS tó fún wa ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì yìí o. Ọlọ́run á máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́.
Ìjọba àpàlà ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Àmọ̀sùn ó ṣe gan-an o. Ọlọ́run adálé àtọ̀nà wọn sí o. Gbogbo nǹkan tún mèremère tí wọ́n ṣe ló wá túbọ̀ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ o.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba o torí àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tó wá ń ta ní ìsìn ó ní agbára. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ọlọ́wọ́ máa kọ́ ọlọ́wọ́ àgbẹ̀
ti mosquito láti máa lò so kò ní sí pé all the time hospital ẹ̀fọn tó máa ń cause malaria. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìjọba wa àwọn CRS fún ààbò wọn.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn ọlọ́wọ́ máa bá ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ o ọwọ́ wọn máa gòkè o lọ́dún tó ń bàjẹ́ lè lọ o.
There was positioning of NECs at 1,248 distribution points, 172 satellite distribution points, and a population of 6,213,102 were reached.
The distribution will happen across 1,255 distribution centers within the 20 local governments in Ogun State as well as 7 LCDAs.
1,712,039 redemption and 2,934,933 nets were distributed. In similar vein, 1,184,350 households were reached from 1,248 distribution points using 4,623 Android devices for the deployment of Ogun State long-lasting insecticidal nets replacement campaign. This represents 87.5% redemption rate across the state.
Taking heavenly souls on flights unknown. Get it under control. Stand up, let's be bold. Oh yeah, stand up. We got to let them know that the time has come. If we play our part, the war would be won. Let us come together, fight it as one. Yeah.
Malaria free, you and me, malaria free.
After this was an hand process evaluation which lasted for 2 days, where a rapid evaluation of ownership and utilization of the nets were done. Hand process evaluation was conducted 2 days after distribution by the 80 independent monitors. 3,200 households were sampled within 320 communities in 80 wards across the 20 local governments of the state.
Malaria free Nigeria, malaria free society. Play your part. Malaria free Nigeria, man. 3 simple steps. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3.
On the whole, special appreciation is due to some personalities who contributed significantly towards the success of the campaign. Amongst them is His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, CON-FCA, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Chief Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, His Royal Highness Alaki of Egbaland, and the Net Ambassador, Honorable Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ikpaye, Permanent Secretary, State Ministry of Health, Dr. Nafiu Olatunde Aigoro, the Director of Public Health, Dr. Yusuf Kudus, and the entire state team, as well as the directors in the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders who contributed in no small way in making the campaign a success. In his final goodwill message, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Babatunde Ekpaye, appreciated the Catholic Relief Services team for their technical support for the distribution of the long-lasting insecticidal net in Ogun State, acknowledging the fact that the campaign was a huge success. He also promised to maximize the remaining nets and continue the campaign to eliminate malaria in the state.
I want to thank you most sincerely for the support you have provided to the good people of Ogun State. I'm sure the Almighty God knows that in the heart of those very vulnerable people, they are already praying for you. So many of them are more prayer warriors than some of us could ever be. So their prayers will continue to touch your lives because you have touched their lives directly. I thank you sincerely because we know that as a state we cannot thank you enough. You have left your families, you have left your children, you have left your husband, you have left your wife to support us. Almighty will continue to support you. So once again, on behalf of the governor, the government, and the good people of Ogun State, I say a very big thank you to you all. Can you all take a bow? I want to thank the good people of Ogun State for the cooperation during the distribution exercise. We have distributed almost 90% of the 3.3 million nets we promised the good people of Ogun State. We will continue to distribute the remaining through our routine channels of distribution, particularly for pregnant women and their children who visit antenatal care. My advice is that people should please hang their nets. The net has been given freely. They are insecticidal treated. They are not harmful. People should please hang them and make sure they sleep under them every night.